The American dream, home ownership. I think it's slowly dwindling away, mostly due to the affordability crisis, not just here in Utah, across the United States. Many states, it's becoming unaffordable to own a home. I came across a great article. A Utah home builder made a trip to Washington, D.C. to propose some ideas. I'm going to go through the entire article. Make sure you stay tuned to the end. There is some current legislation going on. If you agree with any of those bills, I'd recommend that you reach out to your local senators and congressmen. Affordability, that's today's video. Let's get after it right now. To the Living in Utah channel, I'm Mike Gallagher. I'm a local real estate agent right here in the local area. On today's video, we're going to talk about some possible solutions to the affordability crisis that we have in the housing market. And I came across a great article about a local Utah home builder that is trying to meet with members of the Congress and Senate to come up with some solutions to make housing a little bit more affordable. So the name of the article starts out by saying why Utah's top home builder met with Mr. Romney, and I believe they also met with some other individuals. What are the biggest hurdles to obtaining housing, not just in Utah, but across the country? And this is a problem that is occurring in just about every state, affordability. What can cities do to knock down those hurdles and encourage affordable solutions? And what can home builders and other members of the private sector do? And what can Congress do? So in this article, stay to the end. There's some great pieces of legislation that I'm keeping an eye on that I think will help in generations to come. And also some of the proposals will help during the current time period. And the article goes on to state, what can we all do to help more Americans obtain the American dream of home ownership? And in my opinion, I think we are losing the American dream of home ownership if we continue with a affordability crisis. I believe that it's going to affect more than people just owning a home. I think it's going to affect people in their retirement years. Going into your retirement years on a fixed income, renting a place, nearly every year, the rents typically go up. Very hard to retire when your living costs are constantly increasing. So last month, the CEO of Ivory Homes, which is our largest home builder in the state, went to Washington, D.C. He made a statement and said, we're going to have to allow greater density. We're going to have to allow new innovations, new plan concepts, new construction techniques, new financing, and new public-private partnerships. Hundreds of new ideas need to come forward. And I agree with him, especially on the new public-private partnerships. I believe a lot can be done to help lower the housing cost in Utah and many other states. Further bit down the article, is higher density housing the answer? I believe so. And the builder, Ivory, they are looking to build more townhomes in Utah, and they state that high density housing is often a four-letter word in Utah when people are used to single family homes. And that is correct. But I have worked with many clients that would love to find an affordable condo or townhome, especially if you are maybe a single individual or a newly married couple, don't need maybe as much space, or even a retired couple. I get so many retired people that would love to go into like a townhome or a condo. When I talk to them, their life has changed. They are busier now in their retirement years than when they worked. A lot of them have family all across the United States, maybe outside the country. They travel a lot, and they really don't have the time to do yard work, mow the grass, snow removal, and maintenance. And they would like those items done so they can spend their time traveling and visiting family. And talks about modular construction, another idea that I'm a big fan of. Many people enjoy living in a modular home, and it is typically less costly than a ground-up build home. So what are some of the hurdles for modular construction? Well, off-site modular construction in particular could benefit from the standardization and national oversight so we can build more efficiently, Mr. Ivory said. Most countries have housing standards and codes in place that allow someone to go across any part of the country and build what they want to build. But the U.S. has a very fragmented landscape when it comes to modular home building regulations. And I totally agree with that. You can go just between cities to city. Some cities will allow modular homes, some will not. I think we need some national legislation to allow modular home construction. And the article goes on to say, he said that in places like the UK, Spain, and Scandinavia, where they build up to 85% of their housing in factories, while the US builds 95% of its homes on site. That is a big number. And when you are building these homes like on an assembly line, typically you will find that the labor costs are lower, so you can build the home for a lower cost. But there's also some legislation to keep an eye on right now that will potentially help with the affordability crisis. Some of these bills I am personally keeping an eye on. The first one is the Housing Supply and Affordability Act. This bill is a grant program to help with affordability in many cities. There's a bill on the Build More Housing Near Transit Act, another bill that I'm a big fan of. If we could get more construction near some of our transit hubs, that would definitely help. And another bill called the Yes in My Backyard Act. That is a great title for a bill because right now there are many cities, counties, states. They'd love to have affordable housing. They'd love to have condos, townhomes, modular homes. But you find some of the residents saying, build it, but not in my backyard. You can build it anywhere else, but not in my backyard. And this bill is the Yes in My Backyard Act, a bill that I definitely am keeping an eye on. They're trying to cut some of the regulations, stopping the development of townhomes, condos, modular homes, some of the items that could come in as affordable housing. There's also a bill, the Neighborhood Homes Investment Act, and this is basically a tax credit to help with different neighborhoods to revitalize neighborhoods. And it's a great bill. I drive by daily. Many buildings that have been abandoned, need to be torn down. Would be a great location to put in some townhomes or some condos. There's also a bill. Mr. Romney has co-sponsored a bill with Utah Senator Mike Lee. And this is a bill that probably out of all the bills, my favorite bill is to allow state and local governments to buy parcels of federal land at a reduced price to address housing supply and affordability. So basically, if we can buy the land at a lower cost, it will help bring down the new home build cost. And I think it's a great bill. And this would basically be a collaboration between the private and public sector. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I hope that bill does make it through. And I think a lot of states could benefit with this bill, help to reduce the affordability crisis that we have in the United States. That's today's video. If you have any kind of questions, by all means, reach out to me. Glad to answer anything that I can. Love to know in the comments down below. Do you think homes are affordable? Do we need to bring the cost down? Or do we need to keep the costs at the current market value?